Okay, so this morning what we're gonna do is show you how to bone and roll a salmon steak. So a salmon steak is a fairly common cut that a recreational fisherman will do. Not so nice to eat because it is full of lots of bones, pin bones, the rib bones and that. So what we're gonna do is show you how to remove those bones and roll it into a nice compact piece that's easy to fry and easy to eat. In order to do this today, we're going to need to use our boning knife or fillet knife. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need a peeler. This will be for scaling the fish. You'll need a pair of fish tweezers or cosmetic tweezers, as long as they're sanitized, or you could even use needle nose pliers. And you're going to need a couple pieces of 18-inch butcher's twine in order to tie the fish at the end. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove the scales from the fish. Now, it's a lot easier to do if you have a whole salmon, but if you're just stuck with one single piece or a couple pieces with the scales still on, you're going to want to remove those before you cook it. The scales, if you intend to eat the skin, with the scales need to be removed, otherwise it's very unenjoyable to eat. So what I'm using here is just a peeler, and I'm just going a bit of an angle against the scale to remove them this way, and running it under cold water so that they rinse away and they're not stuck to the fish. It's a pretty easy process. You can buy a commercial fish scaler, but it's a waste of $20 if you already have a peeler like this as it is. And you're just going to peel against the scales just to remove them. And once the scales are removed, the skin's going to be a lot more enjoyable to eat. Okay, so once we got the scales removed, you're going to want to dry the fish off. It's going to be a lot easier to work with when it's dry. It's not so slippery. And just pat it dry like that. Okay, once we have it to this point, you're going to put it on the board. And what we're going to be removing here is these rib bones here, the backbone, part of the spine here, and then there's some pin bones that are in here that we'll have to remove once this is all taken out. So the easiest way to do this is your fillet knife or your boning knife. You're going to want to get just under the bones here, and you don't want to remove too much of the meat of the fish. Obviously, the more you take off, the less you're going to have to eat. Okay, and then we'll flip it over and we'll do the exact same with this side. And then you'll come in here and we will remove this part of the spine. Now I like to go fairly high on this and remove every last bit of bone that there is, just like that. Okay, just get rid of that. Now the only thing you're gonna have left for bone is these pin bones that run through here. So you can feel them with your fingers. If you just brush them up like that and then use your tweezers to pull them out. And you want to pull with the grain of the flesh so that it doesn't tear it. And then there's a couple more on this side. You don't want to dig too much with your tweezers, otherwise you'll ruin the flesh. And that was the last one there. There we go. Now that's all the bone. Okay, so now that I've removed the bone, we have this one continuous, it looks like two fillets here. You could do one of two things. You could cut this in half and have two smaller fillets, or you can do what I'm going to show you and roll it to have one larger, nice rolled piece. What we need to do at this point, what I like to do is remove any of this excess fat that you don't really want, any of the fish that doesn't look that nice, if there's any bit of bruising or whatnot. And then we're going to just need to separate the skin from the flesh. Now we're going to leave the skin on. We've scaled it, so now this is going to be good to eat, but we're going to separate it from the skin so that when we roll it up, we don't have a piece of skin stuck in the center. So what I like to do is stick my fillet knife here and just run the knife just down the flesh and to separate the flesh from the skin. Okay, so we're stuck with a piece that looks like this. Now the easiest thing to do is we're just going to roll this up into one nice large roll, and we'll just stuff this piece in here. This will come around, okay, and this skin now will get wrapped around like this. Now you could, at this point, before rolling it too, season the inside. You could stuff it with whatever you want. You can make a bread stuffing, some sort of other seafood stuffing, or even just some fresh herbs, some lemon zest would be nice as well. Now the last thing we want to do is just tie this so it stays in place. So you're just going to need about a 12 to 18 inch piece of butcher's string. And we're going to just tie it straight in the center. Now this size steak should only use about one piece of string. And the easiest way to do this is, rather than trying to fight with tying it like this and it loosening off, before you do that, I like to put 2 turns in that right before the knot, and then when you tighten it, it will stay there. When you let go, it'll actually hold itself still. And now this time you just want to finish the knot off. Okay, and then we can just trim the butcher string to the size we want. And then we have a nice bone rolled salmon steak that you can easily throw on the grill or pan fry. Okay, that's it.